My name is Eliza. I am 26 years old. I live in a small village by the sea. I work at a coffee and pastry stall near the beach. My mother is sick. My little brother, Leo, is only 8 years old. I help care for him. Life is not easy. I wake up early. I work all day. I go to sleep tired every night. That is my life. I never dreamed big. I just wanted peace. One morning, a man came to the stall. He was wearing a clean white shirt. His shoes were shiny. He looked like someone from another world. He smiled at me and said, "One chocolate croissant, please." I gave it to him. He gave me a large tip. Then he walked to the beach. I didn't think much of it. The next day, he came again. And the next. And the next. Always the same. One croissant. A smile. A walk to the beach. I started to wonder, who is he? Why does he come here every day? Then one day, he stayed longer. He asked, "What's your name?" I said, "Eliza." He smiled again and said, "I'm Daniel." Daniel. I had heard the name before. His last name was Blake. Everyone in the village knew the Blake family. They owned hotels, restaurants, and the yacht club. His father was rich. His mother wore gold and pearls. Daniel was part of that world. I was not, but he didn't care. He kept coming. Every day. He asked about my life. He asked what music I liked. He asked if I liked books. I told him about Leo. I told him how I had to leave school to work. He listened quietly. His face was kind. One day, a man came to the stall. He was rude. He shouted. He pushed a cup off the counter. I was shaking. Daniel stood up. He walked in front of me. "That's enough," he said. The man laughed, then walked away. I was still afraid. Daniel looked at me and said, "He won't come back." That day, something changed. I felt safe with him. After that, we talked more. We laughed. Sometimes we walked by the shore after I closed the stall. He never touched my hand. He never tried anything wrong. He just listened. I started to wait for him each morning. I didn't want to, but I did. I felt happy when he was near. One afternoon he said, "I want to tell you something." I looked at him. He looked nervous. "I like you, Eliza." My heart jumped. I didn't know what to say. He was rich. I was poor. His world was big. My world was small. I said nothing. He smiled. "It's okay. You don't have to say anything now." But I thought about it all night. Can a rich boy like a poor girl? Would his family ever accept me? Am I just someone he wants to play with? The next day, Daniel didn't come. Then another day passed. And another. I felt worried. Did I say something wrong? Did he change his mind? On the fourth day he came, but something was different. His smile was gone. He looked tired. He didn't ask for a croissant. He just looked at me and said, "They found out." I didn't need to ask who. I knew. "My parents," he said. "They know I come here. They know about you." My stomach felt cold. I didn't speak. He said, "They are angry. They told me I can't see you again." I tried to stay calm. "Why?" I whispered. Daniel looked away. "They said if I don't stop, they will take everything. No car, no money, no job in the family." He looked back at me. "But I don't care." My heart broke. I didn't feel happy. I felt scared. If he chose me, he would lose everything. I looked at him. "You don't need me," I said. "You need your future." But he shook his head. "You are my future." Those words were sweet, but they were also dangerous. He was ready to fight for me. But was I ready to let him? That night, I sat with Leo. He had a fever. I gave him medicine and wiped his forehead. He looked at me and said, "Are you sad?" I smiled and said, "A little." He touched my hand. "Don't be. You're the best sister." I kissed his cheek and held him close. The next morning, Daniel came again. He had flowers. "I don't care what they say," he said. "I want you to meet my friends." But I was tired. I was scared. "Maybe we should stop," I said. He looked confused. "Why?" I said. "You will lose everything. I don't want that." Daniel looked hurt. "I already told you. I don't care." I turned away. I couldn't look into his eyes. The next day, Daniel came again. But this time, he had no car. He had walked all the way. His face was red from the sun. His shirt was dirty. "They took everything," he said. "I told them I won't stop seeing you, so they cut me off." I looked at him. I felt pain in my heart. He had nothing now, and it was because of me. I said, "I'm sorry." He said, "Don't be. This is my choice." But I still felt guilty. He was losing his world, piece by piece. That night, I stood by the sea. The waves were soft. The stars were bright. But my heart was heavy. I thought, if I stay, he will lose more. Maybe he will hate me one day. Maybe it's better if I walk away first. I walked home slowly. Leo was already asleep. I sat by the window and looked at the dark sky. I held a blanket close around me. The wind was cold. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. My heart felt tired. I had no answers. I only had questions. The next day, I woke up before the sun. I made bread. I filled the glass jar with lemon cookies. I opened the coffee stall and waited. I told myself, maybe he won't come today. I felt afraid and also safe in that thought. If he didn't come, Maybe the problem would disappear. But Daniel came. He had walked again. He looked even more tired than the day before. His hair was messy. His shirt was the same. But when he smiled at me, my heart ached. "Good morning," he said. I gave him a cup of coffee and didn't speak. He sat on the bench nearby. I watched him from the corner of my eye. He didn't leave. He just sat there and waited. After an hour, he walked back to the stall. "Eliza," he said softly, "do you still want me to come?" I looked at him. He was not the same boy from the first day. He didn't have a fancy watch or shiny shoes now, but his eyes were still kind. "I don't know," I said. He nodded. "Okay," he whispered. Then he walked away. That day felt long. I burned 2 croissants. I dropped a cup of tea. My hands were shaking. Every time I looked at the bench, I saw it empty. The wind felt colder than before. Later, after closing the stall, I went to the hospital to get medicine for Leo. I saw Daniel's mother there. She didn't see me. She was walking out of the building in a hurry. She wore a dark coat and gold earrings. I hid behind the corner. My heart was beating fast. Did she know about Leo? Had she come to warn me again? I didn't want to be in a war with his family. I just wanted peace. I just wanted my life to stop hurting. That night, I lay next to Leo. He held my hand. His small fingers were warm. "Eliza," he whispered, "can we go to the beach tomorrow?" I smiled. "If you feel better." He nodded and closed his eyes. I watched him sleep. He looked so calm. I didn't feel calm. I felt like the sea inside me had a storm. The next morning, Daniel didn't come. And the morning after that, he didn't come again. I told myself this was good. He needed rest. He needed space. He needed to think. But my heart didn't believe my mind. My heart said, "You miss him." I looked at the bench every hour. I started making his coffee by habit. Then I threw it away. On the 3rd day, I saw something strange. A girl came to the stall. She wore a pink dress and high heels. Her face was perfect. Her voice was sharp. "You're Eliza?" she asked. I said, "Yes." She smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "I'm Bianca. Daniel and I grew up together. Our parents want us to marry." I stayed quiet. She leaned closer. "Just so you know, he doesn't belong here. He has dreams. You don't." I still said nothing, but my hands gripped the edge of the counter. "Be smart," Bianca said. "Let him go." Then she walked away like a queen. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stood there. My heart hurt. Her words stayed with me. He doesn't belong here. He has dreams. You don't. Was she right? That night, I took out a small notebook. I opened it and started to write. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The next morning, I opened my stall as usual. The sky was gray and the air felt heavy. I had slept very little. My eyes were sore. My hands were cold. But I worked, because that's what I always did. A few customers came and went, but I was not really listening to them. My mind was somewhere else. I kept thinking about Bianca's voice. Her sharp words were like little knives in my chest. I told myself to forget her. I told myself she didn't matter. But a part of me believed what she said. Maybe I really didn't belong in Daniel's world. Maybe I was only a small part of his life, and soon he would move on. People like me didn't end up with people like him. That's what the world had always shown me. Just before noon, I saw Daniel walking toward me again. He had no car. His clothes were simple. He looked tired, but his eyes still found mine. I felt something rise in my chest, a mix of happiness and guilt. He came closer and smiled. "I wanted to say sorry," he said. "For the last few days, I needed time to think." I looked at him and asked quietly, "And what did you decide?" He didn't wait. "I still want to be with you. I don't care what I lost. I care about you." I felt a tear in my eye, but I didn't let it fall. I looked away. "I saw Bianca," I said. His smile faded. "She came to the stall," I added. "She said you're supposed to marry her." Daniel shook his head. "That's what our families want. Not me." He paused, then stepped closer. "I told them I won't. I told them I've made my choice." I looked at him and wanted to believe every word. I wanted to fall into his arms and let the world disappear. But I couldn't. I had Leo. I had my work. I had fear. Love wasn't enough to pay the doctor or buy food. Love wasn't enough to protect Daniel from his rich world. Sometimes love came with a price too high to pay. Later that day, I visited the hospital again. Leo was still not feeling well. His cough was worse. I sat next to him and told him a story about a cat who lived on a boat. He laughed and said, "Can we get a cat one day?" I smiled. "Maybe." He closed his eyes and slept. I stood up to leave and saw someone in the hallway. It was Bianca. Again. This time she was talking to a nurse. I stopped walking. I heard her say, "She's just after his money." She told me that herself. The nurse looked unsure. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Yes," Bianca said with a proud voice. "I know girls like her. Poor girls with sweet faces. They act kind, but they always want something." My hands turned cold. I wanted to run to her and scream, but I didn't. I stayed hidden. I waited until she left. Then I walked home in silence. That night, I wrote something in my notebook again. But this time, it was not just a letter. It was a goodbye. The next morning, Daniel came to the stall. I was not there. I had left the note under the cash box. My aunt was working that day. She gave him the paper. He opened it with shaking hands. The note said, "Daniel, you are kind. You are strong. You gave up so much for me. I will never forget that. But I can't watch you lose more. I love you, but I don't belong in your world. You have a future. I am just holding you back. Please don't try to find me. Please don't hate me. This is goodbye." He read it. Then he folded it and walked away. He didn't speak. He didn't cry. He just walked into the wind. That same evening, Bianca was at a large party in the big hotel. Her parents were smiling. Guests were laughing. Music was playing. It was a party for her. Her engagement announcement. She told everyone Daniel would come. She told them everything was fine again. But he didn't come. As the minutes passed, Bianca kept looking at the door. She kept smiling, but her eyes showed worry. Her father asked, "Where is Daniel?" Bianca said, "He's on the way." But she knew he wasn't. That night, Daniel sat by the ocean. His hands were cold. The wind was strong. He took out the note again and read it. Then he put it in his coat and walked away. The next morning, he went to the hospital. Not to see Leo. Not to see me. But to talk to the nurse who had spoken with Bianca. Her name was Mira. She remembered the conversation. She said quietly, "I didn't believe her. I saw your Eliza. She never asked for money. She only asked for medicine for her brother." Daniel nodded. "Thank you," he said. "That means a lot." Later that day, Mira told someone else about the lie. That person told another. Soon people began to whisper. They said Bianca had made everything up. A week later, a voice message from Bianca's phone started to spread. In the message, she laughed and said, "I scared her off. She's gone now. He will come back to me." The voice was clear. Her friends heard it. Her family heard it. Even her boss heard it. Bianca said it was fake. She said someone made it up. But no one believed her. The message went from phone to phone, house to house, mouth to mouth. People in the village began to talk. They said, "Eliza never did anything wrong. She was trying to protect him." And they said, "Bianca just wanted to win." 2 days later, I came back to the stall. My aunt was tired. Leo was feeling better. I thought it was time. I told myself I would work, keep my head down, and try to forget Daniel. But when I opened the stall, I saw someone I didn't expect. It was Daniel's mother. She stood near the counter, holding something small in her hand. I froze. I didn't know what to say. I waited for her to speak. She placed the note, my goodbye note, on the counter. "He gave me this," she said. "He told me everything." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. She looked at me and said, "I was wrong about you. We all were." I listened to that voice message. Bianca lied to us. But you told the truth. I stared at her, still unsure what to feel. Her voice became soft. "I know you tried to walk away for him, but sometimes walking away is harder than staying." Then she smiled. It was a small smile, a tired one, but it was real. I looked down at the note. The paper was wrinkled. My words looked small now. My hands touched it. My eyes felt full. "He still loves you," she said. And then she walked away. The next morning, I opened the stall early. The sky was bright and the sea was quiet. The wind was soft. It was a peaceful day, but my heart was full of noise. I kept thinking about Daniel's mother. I kept hearing her voice. "He still loves you." I didn't know what to do with those words. I had spent many days trying to forget him. I told myself that walking away was the right thing. I told myself I was being strong. But when she said that, something inside me woke up again. I didn't know if I should hope or be afraid. I served 3 customers in a row, but I wasn't really there. My hands moved, but my mind was far away. Then I looked up, and there he was. Daniel. He was walking slowly toward the stall. He was holding something in his hand. I froze. My heart started beating fast. He came closer. His eyes met mine. He looked tired, but calm. He didn't smile. He didn't speak right away. Then he placed the note, my note, the counter. "You left this," he said. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came. "You don't decide for me," he said softly. "I decide, and I want you." I looked into his eyes. They were the same eyes I had missed so much, the same eyes that made me feel safe. "Daniel," I whispered, "I didn't want you to lose everything." He nodded. "But I didn't lose everything. Not really. I still have you. If you'll have me." I took a deep breath. Even now, after all the lies, after all the pain, he stepped closer. "Especially now. We've seen the truth. And the truth is, I'd rather walk beside you than live in a world that tells me who I should love." At that moment, something inside me broke. But it was not pain. It was something like light. I smiled. Then I laughed. Just a little. "I missed you," I said. He smiled back. "I missed you too." Later that day, we sat by the sea. We didn't speak much. We didn't need to. The sound of the waves was enough. The silence was warm. Then Daniel looked at me and said, "My parents want to speak to both of us." I felt nervous again. My hands became cold. "What do they want?" I asked. "I don't know," he said, "but I think they've changed." 2 days later, we went to the Blake family home. It was big, with tall windows and white walls. I had never been inside before. I held Daniel's hand. My legs felt weak, but I didn't let go. His father was sitting in a large chair. His mother stood near the window. They both looked serious. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Mr. Blake said, "When I was young, I fell in love with a girl. She was not from a rich family. My father told me to forget her. And I did." He paused. His voice was low. "But I never stopped thinking about her. I married someone else. I built a business. I had a family. But I never forgot that girl." I looked at Daniel. He was quiet. Mr. Blake continued, "I don't want to make the same mistake with my son. If he loves you, then you're already part of this family." I didn't know what to say. I felt my eyes fill with tears. Mrs. Blake stepped forward. She placed something on the table. It was a photo of Leo. "I visited the hospital last week," she said. "The nurses told me how kind you were, and how brave." She looked at me and smiled. "I judged you too quickly. I'm sorry." That night, Daniel and I walked home under the stars. Everything felt different. Not bigger, just lighter. The weight on my chest was gone. My heart felt warm again. 3 months passed. Daniel didn't return to the big family business. He said he wanted a new life, a real one. He started helping at my coffee stall. He learned how to bake bread and make perfect cups of tea. At first, people laughed. But after a few weeks, they stopped laughing. They started coming just to see him work. Leo loved having him around. They played games in the afternoon. Sometimes they read books together. Leo called him Dan. It made Daniel smile every time. One Saturday morning, Daniel's father visited the stall. He looked at his son. Then he said, "If you still want the family business, it's yours." Daniel didn't answer right away. He looked at me. Then he looked at Leo. Then he looked back at his father and said, "Thank you, but I already have something better." Later, I asked him what he meant. He took my hand and said, "We have peace. We have truth. We have love. What else do I need?" I smiled. "You don't have to choose anymore. You can have both. A new future and me." Daniel laughed gently. "No," he said. "We have a new future. Together." I looked around at the stall. I saw customers smiling. I saw Leo sitting in the sun. I saw Daniel, the boy who once bought a single croissant and changed everything. And I knew something for sure. Love is not about cars or money or family names. Love is not about big houses or gold rings. Love is about staying, even when it's hard, It's about fighting for someone, not just with words, but with action. Love is about choosing each other again and again, in storms and in sunlight. People ask me sometimes, "How did you know he was the one?" I tell them, because even when I tried to walk away, he still came back. And that's what real love is.